This is the journey to $1 million in public. Either I'll fail or I'll succeed. I should have started with I will succeed. Why would I fail? I wouldn't fail. I am going to succeed. We ended the week at $249,000 and some very interesting things happened since the last update. And for those of you not interested in anything except the final updated number, I am going to leave timestamps in the description so you can skip this video and all the hard work that I put in and go to the end. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. I'm okay with you doing that. The biggest thing that happened is that the stock market actually went up. Does that mean I'm too scared that the stock market is too high? On the contrary, I am buying more. And this is why. If you look at the history of the stock market, in my opinion, it is the #1 wealth building tool for normal people like me. The S&P 500 is the most interesting case study. This is an index that tracks the 500 biggest companies in the United States of America, the biggest economy in the world, the country leading the next revolution in AI as well. This index is up 10% on average annualized for the last 30 and 40 years now. Nothing on this planet can return you that as safely as the S&P 500 because you're investing in the USA, the biggest economy on the planet. And that is exactly what I did. I bought more S&P 500 through this ETF, VFV. This ETF is a Vanguard product, but there's a lot of ETF providers, including BlackRock, that give you similar products. If you're still not convinced, let's talk about the numbers. Assuming you have around 20 years to invest or 25 years, you start with $250,000 and an average annualized return rate of 7 or 8%. You'll have millions of dollars when you retire. In my case, of course, we're going to speed this up and we're going to talk about this later in the video. But even if you're starting from zero, if you consistently contribute, you're going to be a happy camper. If the US is not your jam and it's too concentrated, you can also invest in other countries. For example, I live in Canada, so I invest in Canada as well through this ETF, VDY. This ETF tracks the Canadian version of the S&P 500, the TSX 60, and pays me a nice juicy 4% simply for investing in the stock market. So I get paid $4 out of every $100 I invest simply for holding and watching my money grow. My philosophy with investing is mostly ETFs so that my money stays secure. But since I am a seasoned investor, I also invest in individual companies with a slight percentage of my portfolio. For example, this month I bought more Google. Google is a company that's revolutionary in many ways. They dominated search, they also dominate social media, but I think they have the perfect combination of data and hardware to make the next impact in the AI revolution. I'm talking about Gemini. They're coming up with new models like it is pancakes out here, each better than the previous one. Also, they're investing heavily in their Gemini phone line, along with dominating social media with YouTube. I think they have a lot of prongs going on for them. I've not even talked about Google Cloud, which is doing extremely well. So I bought one share of Google just to give myself an extra boost. Even if my portfolio goes down a lot, there's a crash, I would still keep on investing. For this one reason, dividends. I get paid more than $600 a month, sometimes even almost $800 a month simply for investing in the stock market. This is money that's deposited in my bank account every single month for doing practically nothing. Dividends are essentially profit payments companies pay shareholders as an incentive to keep on holding the stock. Pepsi pays dividend, Google pays dividend, Microsoft pays dividends. Most of your favorite ETFs like the S&P 500, the Canadian TSX 60 pay dividends. And why this is so powerful is that even if the market is down and crashing, I will still get paid these dividends if I invest in ETFs. That is essentially all I want. I don't really care about the price of my stocks in the short term because I'm going to hold for 20, 25, hopefully even 30 years. But I do care about getting paid to hold them, which is why I invest in dividends. The stock market alone is not enough. I need to speed this process up, and I do that by investing in businesses. The biggest business that's paid off for me is a freelancing business, particularly Fiverr.com. You might be a bit intimidated by freelancing and starting out a business, but I'm going to break it down for you so easily, like butter that you can put with jam on your toast and eat it, so you can get started yourself as well if you follow these 3 steps. And just as proof, I've made thousands of dollars doing this, more than $4,000 in the last year, a very lucrative side hustle income. The first step, and the step that most people trip on, is getting started. Get an email and pick a niche. I'm going to link this article by Upwork.com, the leading freelancing website out there that details the easiest skills for beginners to learn and become freelancers. This is not me saying this. Don't trust me. I'm just a guy. This is Upwork, the biggest company or one of the biggest companies out there. Once you have that skill, all you need to do is make a service. And I'm going to make it even easier for you. If you pick writing, just search writers on Fiverr or Upwork and just copy whatever they're doing. Yes, it sounds bad, but I just want to take this fear out of people of getting started. So just copy what they're doing, make a simple thumbnail using Canva, and upload your gig. That is it. That is the first step. And the step that 95% of people will never do because they just are too jumbled up in their thought process. But I detail it down for you exactly to the T. The second step, and how you'll actually get orders, is pricing low. Think about it. If you price high or at market price, why would I choose you as a client? I have this writer who already has 500 or 1,000 reviews and has good reviews. I know that they're vetted. Why would I give you $55 or $100 for an hour of work if I can give them $55 and I know for a fact they're going to be successful? You counter this psychology by pricing low and incentivizing clients to take a risk on you. If you price at $5, I as a client, I'm going to say, you know what, what's the worst that could happen? I'm going to get a subpar article and waste $5. And the best thing that can happen is I get a really good article and I practically save 95% of my cost. This is just marketing 101, psychology 101. And if you follow this, just like I followed this, you're going to get reviews. I priced at $5 to get my first 12, 13 clients because I knew without any reviews, I'm basically doomed to fail. You follow the first two steps, but if you don't follow the third one, you might fail. And the third step is staying patient. I mentioned I've been doing this for over a year now. The first few months were rough. I was pricing extremely low and I was getting paid nothing. But the patience paid off because now that I have reviews, now that I have clients, I'm able to price at $45, $50, even sometimes $60 per hour. You're not going to reach $60 per hour if you don't stay patient and stick with it for the first few months, just like any new business. Stay patient, and you're going to see rewards. This is something that I'm always excited for because I actually do genuinely like what I do, which is helping people prepare for job interviews and coaching them. That is valuable and gives me value as well. So I'm going to keep on doing this. I'm going to keep on investing more time in this and finding out ways to turn this into a 5 or 6 figure business. This week, I also got paid $30 per hour for doing nothing. And here's what I mean. I deposited this $10 for 15 minutes of effort into my PayPal account and then into my bank account for doing nothing, for basically yapping. And what I mean by yapping is user research. User research is the holy grail for making money online, in my opinion, and is a very simple process. It's a process whereby you provide your valuable feedback, your valuable insights to companies to improve their products and services. For example, if you like shoes, there's a lot of shoemakers out there like Nike, like Brooks, like Asics that want to sell more shoes, but they're not able to do that if their website and their applications are not good. You can get paid to give your opinions on how to make these shoe websites in this example better. And not just paid, some of these pay more than $200 per hour. The 3 websites I like the most are User Testing, User Interviews, and Prolific. There's many others out there and I'll link a lot in the description below, so see what's available in your region and go for those. The only caveat with the high paying ones, and it's not even a caveat, it's only a disclaimer, is that you'll have to meet with an actual researcher on Zoom or Google Meets and give them your opinion. They're going to ask you some questions, they're going to run you through a demo, they're going to make you do some things on a demo website. It is not a test of your skill, it is not a test of whether you're tech savvy or not. It's just an opportunity for them to get feedback and improve their own products and services. Because if they give you $60, they're going to end up selling more than $60K, for example, and end up with a lot of money. If meeting with someone is not your jam, you can do these $10 surveys that pay you essentially for just speaking in your microphone, or these 4 or 5 pound surveys that pay you simply for filling out some basic information. Keep in mind, this is not going to make you thousands of dollars every single month, but it is a very good source of side hustle income. Some months you're going to make thousands, some months you might not make anything, but that is okay because if you stay consistent, this compounds. We're going to take this and invest it in the stock market and watch it grow even further. It's just a sort of a machine, money-making machine here. Before I end this video though, I want to talk about some failures. Making money online is hard and some things you try are not going to succeed. That is just how life goes online. I failed at a lot of things that I've documented on this channel again and again. And the one thing I also failed at again was TikTok because I just don't have the energy or the capacity to post. I want to post on TikTok, but every time I open the app, I just don't like it. I don't like TikTok. I don't think it's a good medium to give information or get valuable information. I like long form content. I want to focus on long form. I do have shorts on YouTube because some of my audience has told me that they need shorter clips. But I think on TikTok, it is mostly all entertainment or all jokes or all comedy, which is okay too. I like jokes. I like comedy. I'm a funny guy, right? But at the same time, I just don't think it's a platform for me. And I have been failing at TikTok. I only have 1 follower. I barely have any posts. I just don't think I'm that TikTok type of person. I just don't want to spend even a minute on that app. So why would I create content on that app? I guess it doesn't make sense. So those are the 3 things that happened. What is the final number? We are actually up this week. The stock market performed well. We added some money and we're closer to that $1 million milestone, which is good to see. And one last thing, just philosophically, it is okay to take breaks. It is okay to not make your life about just making money. I could pump this number up from 250K to possibly 260, 270, 280 and just keep on investing more. But I do choose to spend money because life cannot be lived twice. And that does mean you will have to decide what that balance is for you. I don't like to spend on materialistic things, but I do like to spend on experiences like travel, trying out new food sometimes. So that balance has been hard for me to perfect, but I'm getting better at it. And on that note, I will be taking breaks in the coming month because I want to spend some more time with family that I haven't seen in almost a year. Well, actually, more than a year. The satisfaction I get from spending time with family and loved ones is not something I can replicate through numbers. I could have 500, even $5 million in the bank, but if I have no good connections, no good people to share my story with, I just think that's a huge failure for me personally. Now that we're done with that long philosophical rant nobody asked for, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. We do this every single week. I detail new ways to make money, detail what exactly has worked for me and how I've gotten to this 250K and even beyond that. We're going to keep on trying things, we're going to keep on building, and I want you to be part of the journey. I'll see you next week.